Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. I am so excited to share with you my top gourmands for the fall. I think I've got about 10 here, 10 suggestions anyway. So from apple pie to strawberry shortcake to coffee to whatever, caramel, all sorts of different things, I've got you covered. So these are my, as Hesse would put it, my most lickable fragrances, smell like a snack for fall. So before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button, join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get started. When I look for a gourmand, I want to look for something that doesn't just smell like straight up food. I want something that is gourmand. Sometimes it can be straight up food, but I also like ones that are a little bit more complex. So this has a mixture, and also I have a mixture of price ranges. So from affordable, designer, niche, I kind of like to throw a whole bunch of different ones in there. So yay! So the first one I have for you is Girl of Now, just the original OG. This is just a delicious, now there is orange blossom in this. So you get that orange blossom. There's actual orange and pear in here. But what sets this apart as a gourmand is that it has pistachio and almond in it. You definitely get a lot of that pistachio. It smells warm, inviting. There's tonka in here. This one just feels warm and cozy and delectable with those nuts. So this is a delicious nutty fragrance. Longevity is amazing, and yeah, it just feels super cozy, kind of like a hug for those cool blustery days. This is perfect. So for our coffee lovers, I've got two different fragrances, one niche, one affordable. The first one is Cafe Cabanel by Cabanel. This has a little bit more complexity to me than something like a Coffee Addict from Theodore Calatini. So the Cafe Cabanel, I like it better because it's not quite as sweet. And it's still kind of that creamy, sweet caramel type coffee. The gourmand notes in here would be cinnamon, there's coffee, there's milk, caramel, and actually butter in this one too. So very rich, smells a little bit like a coffee dessert, but you definitely get the coffee in there. So really, really enjoy this fragrance. For my more budget-friendly coffee lovers, I think French Coffee is an amazing fragrance by Al Rehab. And unlike Choco Musk that doesn't last long, this one has excellent longevity. I haven't purchased it yet, but it's on my wish list and I plan on getting it soon. It's actually amazing. In fact, it is one of the best coffee fragrances out there, even though it's like under 40 bucks or around $40. So it's got coffee, vanilla, caramel, milk, sugar, cacao, cinnamon. So this is a delicious kind of decadent coffee. Now to me, in the opening, it smells more like you're smelling the roasted beans, but then as it dries down, you're getting more of that sugary coffee feel. If you want a really, really true coffee, like a photorealistic, Acro Awake is your best bet because it's a coffee with kind of a citrus opening, but it's straight up coffee. These two are more like the coffee sugar cream, but I do find that French Coffee is a little bit more true to that coffee smell. So it is an amazing one to add to something, anything rosy or a smoky oud. You throw the coffee in there and it just smells so delicious. So French Coffee, I highly, highly recommend. Cabanel's Cafe Cabanel, delicious, kind of more of a milky, creamy, sweet coffee that is more creamy sweet than coffee, although you still get the coffee. But if you want like a major hit of coffee, French Coffee is the way to go for sure. And what I always use with anything like a coffee or a caramel, or like when I'm wanting to amp up that coffee caramel milky feel, I use Midnight Amber Glow by Bath & Body Works. This has smooth amber, caramel latte, and vanilla bourbon. I don't know if this is a regular one, but they usually have something in this genre. I love it. Like you get a hit of that coffee, but there's lots and lots of caramel in this. So if you want to amp up the sweetness in any sort of a coffee / caramel fragrance, or want to create a little bit more warmth or depth, this is a great lotion to choose. So the next fragrance that I have that kind of smells a little bit like a warm apple pie is Camera by Lattafa. Now this has dates in it. So you get the sweetness from the dates. This is boozy smelling, but it does have that cinnamon and nutmeg in it, which gives it kind of that apple pie feel, along with some vanilla and praline. Now, when I first got this fragrance, I found it so outrageously obnoxious. Like, it was so strong, one spray, and you could smell it everywhere. As it's macerated, so for the past 6 months, it's kind of macerated, and I find that it's much more palatable, much more smooth rather than being screechy. And it's not quite as long lasting, but you're still going to get 7 to 8 hours with excellent projection. So if you like that warm kind of sweet apple pie feel, like think Angel Share and all those fragrances that are kind of like that, this is along the same lines, but this has the date. It's not like Angel Share, it's different. There's also a lightness in this one. So my sister wore this, I mentioned this, my sister wore this at her son's wedding, and it smelled almost kind of a little bit airy, and it certainly wasn't too thick, and it kind of, like, she thinks it smells a little bit coconutty. I get that kind of idea. Like, it's an interesting fragrance, definitely worth a sniff. It's not for the faint of heart, because I find it still quite strong. If you like those Angel Share apple pie type fragrances, this is in that same wheelhouse, but it's like $40. So it's a great option for you if you're interested in something of that nature. Now, a fragrance that I literally cannot stop wearing, I talk about it a lot, but it is such an amazing gourmand, is BROCELIONDE by Soradora. Now, this fragrance, it's got lime in the opening. It's so mouth-watering. This one you could put with any sort of a lime fragrance, but you could also amp up the caramel or the vanilla. So another lotion that I absolutely am in love with is a Vanilla Cashmere by j.u.s. If you can get your hands on this in Canada, please do, because you'll love it. It smells like vanilla buttercream icing on your skin. It is so, so nice. Plus, it's nourishing. People in the States can readily get this, but it's harder to get in Canada. But you could put something like that, or even the caramel, like even something like this to amp up the caramel that's in this. So this has booziness. There's some caramel. It smells like a lime drink, but then it somehow morphs into kind of a caramel ice creamy, with still a hint of citrus on the top, a little bit boozy. I just find this one so mouth-wateringly decadent. I just love it. My kid doesn't stop wearing it, and I'm afraid he's going to use my whole bottle up. But whenever he puts it on, I'm like, BROCELIONDE. Like, I just absolutely love this fragrance. So highly, highly recommend. This one does sit closer to the skin after about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's great for those special encounters. But this, like, you want to talk lickable, I find this so lickable. Like, it's so delicious. So anyway, BROCELIONDE by Soradora. I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to chocolate fragrances, but the one that I have to mention that is just so stellar, like, it is an amazing chocolate fragrance if you like that serious gourmand chocolate, and that is Chocolate Queen by Navitus. This is like so mouth-wateringly good. It's got chocolate, but it's not so thick and chocolatey that you feel like you're wearing a chocolate bar. This basically has every delicious note you could ever imagine, from Bailey's Irish Cream to dulce de leche, hazelnut, fudge, caramel, you name it, it's in here. But the interesting thing about it is that it doesn't smell just super thick and chocolatey and nothing else. Somehow it smells like there's maybe some orange blossom in there. It's not listed in the notes, but there's something that keeps this from getting too thick and cloying. It stays kind of airy and light somehow, like delicate. Beautiful sillage. I just think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. Lasts a decent amount of time on the skin. I would say it is the best chocolate fragrance out there if you love yourself a rich, dense chocolate, but you don't want it to sit super heavy. This one somehow still stays kind of light and not too thick. So such a genius formulation as far as I'm concerned, as far as an amazing chocolate fragrance. Just perfect. just absolutely perfect. Now, next fragrance, I've mentioned this in the past too, but it works so well every season, is New York Nights by Bond No. 9. So this, the notes don't represent it, but it smells like banana cake or banana bread. So banana nut loaf is what it smells like to me completely. So I love this fragrance. You can make this work in the summer by I would put like a banana coconut lotion, smelled amazing. With this, you could pair it with something like this and it would smell absolutely delicious, or vanilla works really well with it. Or if you can find a banana nut bread lotion, that would be so crazy awesome. But I love this one. This one really lingers on my skin. So when I put this one on, especially with a lotion, I smell it literally all day. I smell like warm banana bread. Like I want to eat myself. Next fragrance that is absolutely amazing is La Nuit Tresor by Lancôme. This has a whack of notes. What I primarily get out of it is strawberry, kind of caramel. There's a little bit of coffee in here. It's just decadent and sweet, but mainly strawberry. So to me, it smells a little bit like a chocolate covered strawberry is what you get. But you can do a couple different things with this. So the strawberry is really decadent. There's a few other notes in there that are a little bit richer. Some people say that the new formulation does not have those notes. I can't tell. Like, to me, this just smells really good. It's sweet, it's strawberry, it's delicious, and it's a decadent, rich strawberry, like chocolate strawberry somehow. So you can go a few different directions with this. If you want to amp up the strawberry, you could do Strawberry Pound Cake by Bath & Body Works. This is absolutely, it's very delicious, but the strawberry is pretty bright in this, and this is a little bit warmer. So you could also do like the j.u.s. vanilla or any vanilla lotion that you have. But what I actually like doing with this is I like deepening it up. So j.u.s. Spicy Deliss, it has cardamom, ginger, pink pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves. There's some vanilla in this. So basically it's just a huge spice bomb. Like, it smells like spices. I find this one is quite masculine. It doesn't have it listed, but it almost smells as if it has orange blossom. And it actually reminds me, for whatever reason, I'm sure if I smelled them side by side, they wouldn't smell anything alike. But it reminds me of Jean-Paul Gaultier's Classique Essence de Parfum. Same sort of feel in this for some reason. But what I like doing is pairing the two. So I'll put the Spicy Deliss on and then the strawberry on top of it. So this gives it kind of a little bit more density and thickness and darkness on top of the strawberry. Somehow it just supports it. Like, it kind of goes underneath. I spray way less of this than I do of this, but it just kind of helps deepen this up to give it that sexy factor, like that massive sexy factor. So love the two of these together. I also love this, like if you want to wear Dolce Amalfi by Xerjoff, I find that to be like quite wonderful for summer as well. But if you want to spice it up or spice any fragrance up using Spicy Deliss to kind of supplement that cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom feel, this is a great option to use. I find it a little too masculine for myself, just on its own, but like pairing this with a vanilla, amazing. So great fragrance for me. For a guy, this would be great on its own. For a woman, they may find it a little bit too masculine. So pairing it with something else gives it a little bit more depth and excitement. So love this fragrance for that. But this fragrance, oh my goodness. To me, this is one of the most lickable, decadent, delicious fragrances I have in my collection. So good. Now this one is quite pricey, so another option is to go with Modeste 2. Now they smell very similar. The other one is Taste of Kiss by La Rive. So that one smells very similar to this, except it smells a little bit more chocolatey than this one does. So Taste of Kiss by La Rive, awesome. Like, that's the most affordable. I like using both of them at different times. I don't know, like they're different enough that I don't feel sad about having both. in my collection. I think I just really like that DNA, but this is quite pricey. Even though it's designer, it's a little bit up there. So Modeste, I think it's $36, and Taste of Kiss is like $16. So, and excellent longevity for all of these. Really, really good. And seriously, guys love these fragrances. They're sweet, they're edible. Yeah, they're amazing. Whoa! Now, another fragrance that I cannot be without as far as that gourmand deliciousness in the fall, and that is Lara by Xerjoff. This is part of the Casmerati line. I've talked about this enough. It's so good. Oh, except when it goes in my mouth. It almost tastes good, but not quite. So, this is a delicious smoky lemon pound cake. It reminds me of the lemon pound cake at Starbucks. So just the dense richness. It's got lavender in it and orange. There's no lemon in this, but to me, it smells like a smoky lemon pound cake. Thick, dense, rich, delicious, smells edible, very, very delectable, like so delectable. It's quite cozy. I absolutely love this fragrance, like seriously. And the little 30 ml bottles are usually between $89 and $99 on Fragrance Buy. I'll have it all linked down below. I don't make anything off of Fragrance Buy, like not at all, like not even an affiliate thing. But I usually have that one and Fragrance Net, because sometimes the 100 mils is cheaper on one rather than another. But when they do have these 30 mils, they're definitely worth snapping up, because then you get to try it and it's so amazing. And I prefer this over any dupe that I've smelled. I always go back to this one. There's some fragrances that are just somehow a little bit harder to dupe somehow, and I haven't smelled a great dupe yet. If you know of one, please let me know. The last one I'm going to tell you about is probably the least gourmand out of all of them, but somehow it's still gourmand to me. Like I smell it and it just smells rich and kind of edible. And a lot saucy somehow, is Sumo Oriental by Nuit Nomad. Now this is the thickest out of all the Nuit Nomads to me. So somehow this is a lot more dense. It doesn't smell as light, delicate, and airy as the other ones. Longevity on this one is insane. There's a lot of earthiness in this. There's some tonka, but there's cacao and rum in this. And that's what I get. Like I get kind of a smoky chocolate rum drink somehow. It's uber mysterious and sexy. This would be one. Whoa. Oh, it's like the cap doesn't want to go on. The cap doesn't even want to go on. It wants to get sprayed. Oh, let me spray it. I gotta spray it. Yeah, somehow it smells somehow like a smoky chocolatey rum drink. So delicious. This one to me is like, you want to be like I smell this and I think devour time. Like it's just so good. This one is definitely the most sexual somehow to me. It's almost a little animalic, but it's somehow still quite gourmand to me. So it doesn't quite make sense. Maybe I'm completely whacked out and this isn't gourmandy at all, but it does have kind of that chocolatey, rummy type feel, and then a lot of depth with patchouli and different stuff like that. So this is the least edible, but somehow it's the most edible. I don't know. I just really like this one, and so I'm mentioning it. Love it. Love it. It's really sexy, a little bit skanky, and I'm just living for this fragrance. And that is it. Out of all of these, I can't pick what would be my favorite because I love them all. I could pick a least favorite. So my least favorite, honestly, is Camera, because I've never been a huge fan of that apple pie feel, that boozy apple pie, but like this is amazing and it's beautiful on. Like this is a compliment getter. Actually, all of these are major compliment getters, but you can't go wrong with any of them. They are all so amazing. What about you? What are the most lickable, snack-like deliciousness fragrances that you have in your collection that you are so excited to wear for the fall. Please leave your list in the comments. And remember, you know, if you like niche, leave your niche loves. Like, that's totally cool. If you like affordable, leave your affordable loves. They're all welcome here because they all just smell amazing and we need to know about them, right? So anyway, that is it. I hope you have an amazing week. What one should I wear today? Fragrance that I'm gonna wear today is definitely La Nuit Tresor. I just, for some reason, I just can't get enough of this fragrance, and I'm gonna go in ham. Gonna give myself a major spray, and then I'm gonna just spray a tiny bit of this one because it, well, I'm just gonna let it kind of go wherever, because the two mixed together somehow is just divine, in my opinion. Different, like I never thought I'd like the two together, but that little bit of spice just kind of adds a bit of mystery in with La Nuit Tresor. But I love them all. Like, seriously, I love every one of them, and they are absolutely decadent, delicious fragrances. So that is it. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.